This case will show how an extremely smart person can fall for a scam. This is not about judging the victim. This case will somehow highlight the incompetence of the authorities. The victims who are willing to speak about it are mocked by the cops, ridiculed until they just don't want to follow the case anymore, and later tell everyone about their experiences, making other victims afraid to speak up. Hello everyone, I hope you are doing fantastic. Today we are talking about Debbie, a widow who fell in love with someone online and ended up spending more than $1 million on a stranger. But the thing here is, 1. She worked as an intelligence officer, and 2. The scammer is the one that came clean to her. And she didn't believe him. Before we begin, subscribe to the channel. We talk about catfishes, romance scammers, and some Reddit stories.
Are you kidding me?
Intelligence officers gather data and information and analyze it to develop a picture or understanding of a person or issue. Sounds like a pretty smart job conducted by a pretty smart person, huh? Well, this is Debbie, a former intelligence officer who unfortunately lost her husband. She turned to the online scene to find people she could talk to, and after some time she met Eric, an English man, widower, and father of a 7-year-old kid.
He was kind, he was well-spoken, which was funny because most of the men that were writing could hardly write. It's like talking to a 5th grader.
That's a weird statement coming from someone who knows how to read people.
Science fact.
We know the spoilers here. Eric is a Nigerian guy, so how did she believe this deception? How was he different? I doubt Eric was talking as an English guy, so she was captivated by him from the very beginning, or Eric was quick to romance her or boost her ego somehow. They would communicate through emails, so she didn't know his voice. Honestly, I don't think that matters. She would have made excuses about his accent either way.
So I copied and pasted every email that I had, I put into a journal, and then I printed it thinking I was having family history.
What do you think about this? Printing every interaction with someone she doesn't even know what he sounds like. It means she was invested in this Eric guy from the very beginning.
And you actually said to him, either I'm an extreme fool or this is going to be a wonderful relationship. Do you think you just ignored that or didn't want to believe it?
I'm sure I ignored it.
I think it's because it's an online transaction. It doesn't feel heavy, like buying something really expensive online versus in person. The action of grabbing the money in your hands and giving it to someone else is more impactful than an online purchase.
Did you ever ask to talk to him on the phone or meet him in person?
I did, and when I talked to him, he had a British accent.
Oh wow, okay, so she did talk to him on the phone. And here are the excuses. The Nigerian guy had a perfect English accent.
I spend a lot of time talking to her. She wants attention. People in America want attention.
I don't consider myself stupid, but they got me.
Well, he kept rejecting the in-person meetup because this Eric guy, a successful businessman, had money issues. Of course. Listen, I'm sure you noticed this is the Dr. Oz show.
You suck.
I think he's a great cardiologist, but he is also a quack that promotes pseudoscience. I don't know why he's talking about this sort of issue, but here we are. All this to say, yeah, he sucks.
But he's right.
Nevertheless, you're an intelligence officer. That part of your brain is probably saying, check up on him.
Well, my brothers told me that too when they first heard about this. They said, do background checks. And like, you guys, it's just friendship.
Yeah, but at the same time, she's printing every conversation because she believes something big is happening between her and this Eric guy.
Yeah!
Debbie made up her mind and the relationship transformed into something more selfish. She wanted her fix and didn't care about the potential consequences. And mind you, she did spot some irregularities in how he spoke about things in general, as if he was not a native English speaker. But Eric will concoct some dumb explanation that Debbie will immediately believe.
When I questioned something, though, he always had a plausible answer.
They always do.
As to why.
They always do.
They always do.
They do.
They're so convincing.
I mean, yeah and no. Yes, they are very convincing if the person is extremely vulnerable or gullible. They are very obvious to the rest. And as usual, the word money came up in their love conversations.
It started off very small at the beginning. He was trying to get one of his friends online. He said, if you could help him out, that'd be great. And I did that, and I guess that shows that I was willing.
Yeah, then it turned into $1 million. She will sell her stuff, some investments she had. She even asked her parents for money to give to this successful businessman. She kept saying she gave Eric that million because he was family, but I bet you she would not give a family member she already knows that amount of money. No way.
In the back of your mind, did you ever wonder how can a successful businessman not have $90 to pay for a friend?
I probably had that thought, but at the beginning it was more fun.
See, it was fun for her, like buying things from Temu. It's fun. You get a rush of adrenaline knowing something will appear at your door. But that shouldn't be the case in a romantic relationship. It shouldn't be a gamble. It shouldn't be an addiction. After 2 years, Eric had a change of hearts.
I have something to tell you that's going to hurt you. He said, I have a confession to make that this has all been a scam. And at that point, I'm thinking, no, you're lying to me now. I said, you're going to have to prove to me that this is a lie.
So she blindly believed him for 2 years, giving him money without getting anything in return. But when the truth comes out from the mouth of a scammer, she refuses to believe him. Why? I don't know. But if I may, she didn't want the life she built in her mind to crumble. She didn't want to accept that she was wrong. And the people she fought, people who told her she was being scammed, were right all along. It was a total ego fatality. And the reasons why the scammer came clean was probably because he realized it was indeed not a Christian job. Or just like in this case with this horrible woman, the scammer comes clean, but he alleges to have fallen in love. He didn't want to lie anymore and pursue the relationship as real as he could get. They just wanted more money by changing tactics.
And I went to the FBI the next day with all of my documentation, and they said, Deb, unless you can get him here to the United States, there's nothing we can do for you.
The FBI is indeed cracking these scammers' cells, but they are just too many, scattered everywhere, and once they capture one, another 5 appear. Plus the fact that we are talking about foreign affairs, multiple countries, continents being involved in this issue makes everything 10 times more difficult. That I understand.
Most police stations and law enforcement don't know how to deal with a victim in this
And they blow
case.
you off.
And they blow you off, they make you feel really bad. A woman told me that the other day, and she said, Deb, I walked out of that feeling like I was this
Worse.
big.
And this is my problem. A victim is asking for help and they get a lecture while being ridiculed for their actions. At the end of the day, they are victims of a scam. They are vulnerable individuals who deserve their justice. They know what they did was wrong and stupid. There's no need for the cops to make it worse. It's just going to prevent people from speaking up. They already don't want to. I found this video some time ago. I put it in a community post for you guys to see because it was very interesting to hear an expert talking about the mind of a scam victim. They are trapped in the honeymoon phase with their scammer. They don't see reasons or reality until something cracks. In the podcast, Lauren, the expert, shares a story about how her mom was being scammed by 2 men at the same time and she didn't know it. She felt great, her self-esteem was doing fantastic, until one of the pictures of this man caught her eye. One of them was wearing a wedding ring. And just like that, the veil broke and she could finally see reality as it was. She gives also a fantastic advice. Journaling. If you are dating, journal everything. The action of you writing changes how you perceive reality. This changed how I see the victim's response. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are also the ones that follow the money and get caught in the investment. But then there are cases like this where Debbie just wanted to talk to someone and got tangled in this mess. Very interesting podcast, go watch it. Very insightful. What do you think about this story? It's still very difficult to put myself in their shoes because sending $1 million to someone who doesn't want to meet doesn't make sense to me. I completely get the honeymoon phase, but as far as I know, it fades after a year. This case went on for 2 years. I don't know. I'm glad she paid off her parents and she's taking it like a champ. Leave me your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. It really helps. I hope you had a wonderful day or night, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.